So some of my videos start with trains. Today it starts with a bus and the wingtip of an Airbus A220. Welcome to Milan, where we'll shortly connect and we'll be flying on one of these. Air France's Airbus A220-300. I'm glad you're with me for this adventure. As I wade through the terminal to find the Skyteam Lounge, it's worth a mention there are some great shops and restaurants here at Milan Linate. It's also worth a mention that the British Airways Lounge, if you happen to have access, is probably one of the best I've been in Europe. Anyways, here is the aircraft we're flying on today, this one-year-old Airbus A220-300. There's that BA Lounge look on the right-hand side. Now where's this Skyteam Lounge? Having flown into Milan Linate with ITA Airways, which is also a Skyteam member, I assume the Skyteam Lounge here would be both prominent and a pretty good lounge. Anyways, I struggled to find it. Here's our trip today from Milan to Paris Charles De Gaulle, a trip that will take approximately an hour and 25 minutes. I think I took just as long as that to find the lounge. At long last I find the lounge. Here we are climbing the steps as we make our way to the Skyteam Lounge here at Milan Linate. It's got an amazing view of the apron. Just look at this. Good views aside, the lounge was pretty good too. There was a decent selection of hot and cold food and plenty of drinks. I also managed to make it in the lounge just in time to see my jet arrive. I had time for another quick drink and then it was time to leave the lounge and head to the gate. Milan Linate is a fairly small airport, but it seems like it takes a while to get from one place to another. Here I am making my way out of the lounge, down the stairs and back into the concourse to board my jet. Oh, and that reminds me, if you do like the videos I'm making, please do like and subscribe. I'd really welcome your support, and thanks in advance. Boarding was orderly and we were soon put on a bus and taken out to a remote stand to board our jet. Now I've added a big Air France logo to the corner of this particular shot, largely to protect the identity of the purser who I bumped into on board. She wasn't very happy that I was filming. In fairness, she simply asked that I didn't film her or her crew, which, by the way, I completely respect. Here we are getting on board, and as you'll see, the aircraft is in this lovely 2-3 configuration and looks a bit like it could work for Delta Airlines. What do you think? Perhaps let me know in the comments. I thought the cabin looked really smart, and actually, as ever, look at those huge A220 windows and the view they afford you. Just amazing. I really like the 3-2 configuration. It gives you lots of scope and options in terms of seating. The seats themselves had power, they had a coat hook, and the seat pitch wasn't too bad. Aero Lopper says these are about a 30-inch pitch. It felt tighter than that to me, if I'm honest, but it wasn't too bad for a short flight. Soon we were taxiing out for our departure. The flight looked pretty full to me, but we left on time, which as ever I always really appreciate. On our taxi out, it was nice to see this ITA Airways jet parked right next to one of its older cousins and the Alitalia fleet. Nice to see a retro bird, even though it's not really that retro. It was only a few years ago. These are a common sight on our aprons across Europe. We waited at the end of the runway for a couple of jets to land, and soon it was time for the off. As with most of these modern jets, and including the E2 that I flew on quite recently, they are very, very quiet, which I guess is a really good thing. Here we are making our way onto the runway for our takeoff. Okay, so let's get the sound turned down for the takeoff and see if you can hear what can only be described as a whale song as we depart. Let me know if you hear it in the comments. Bearing in mind these jets fly into places like London City, which has a very short runway, I wasn't surprised to see the jet lift really quickly and very quietly. Oh, and did you hear the whale noise? Before long we were cloud surfing, but we broke through quite quickly into this beautiful blue landscape. Service started soon after we hit the cruise. We were given a snack and a soft drink as we made our way across to Charles de Gaulle. Here's a quick look at the seat again. Really handy little cup holder, decent sized tray, and actually, as with the E2 Airways jet I flew on recently, this brilliant device holder, just such a good idea. Really, really love it, and really conveniently located right next to the power outlets. Such a good idea. The crew on board were very courteous and served us very quickly. It then left me to just look out the window at this amazing view. How beautiful. All too soon, our hour and 25-minute flight was coming to an end. We got to see the patchwork countryside of France. Air France and KLM are of course sister companies, and the approach to service and their hard product are very similar, which is perhaps not a huge surprise. Do have a look through my videos. I recently also flew on a KLM E195-E2, so take a look. But the service today with Air France was very good. It was a relatively cheap flight. The service on board was very good and very quick. The aircraft was new, everything worked, and again an on-time arrival for our flight between Milan and Paris today. All in all, another really good flight. Le landing. Here we are arriving at Charles de Gaulle in Paris. A nice slick landing, but under very dark grey skies. Very different to what we saw earlier when we were further up. So overall, I would absolutely fly Air France again. The airfare between the two cities was about £67, so not too bad at all, albeit it was in economy. Here we are just traversing one of Charles de Gaulle's runways as we head back over to the terminal. Charles de Gaulle is enormous, so the taxi took about 10 minutes from the point we landed. At one stage I thought we'd actually taken a wrong turn because we look incredibly close to these office buildings, although I should just mention this looks like it's Air France's headquarters, so they're obviously really used to this. So with our tour of the Air France headquarters complete, we made our way to our gate and parked right next to a brother or sister of our jet. Now on arrival at Paris I needed to connect to a different terminal to catch my flight back to London. I was reminded just how big Paris Charles de Gaulle is, and I think if you are transiting here, do allow lots of extra time. It's enormous. Last plug, I promise, do please like and subscribe if the video is something you enjoy and you'd like to see more. Thanks again for those who already support me, and look forward to welcoming more subscribers for more of the same type of content. So normally bus transits between terminals are not that exciting, but at Paris Charles de Gaulle we got the brilliant experience of going airside from one terminal to the other. I really enjoyed this experience, a silver lining one could say. Anyways, that's it for the video today. Thanks so much for watching and look forward to having you along next time. See you soon and take care.